Alright, so the forging aspect into rings is fairly straightforward. So we've twisted them. Alright. Now these two I haven't touched. The white gold one I have hammered flat. So you start by basically turning these into perfect round rods, and then you go rectangular and flatten it out. That being the goal. Now, as you can see, the patterns are really developed. They're going to get much more developed once we sand. Remember, this thing looks pretty good, right? Hold on, I'll get you. Well, it looks decent at this point. That thing's only been sanded with 220. So, it's going to get a lot better. All right. Pretty sure this is called a planishing hammer. I don't know. I've heard that term, and I can see that this thing cleans things out, so that's why I'm calling it that. Like I said, I learned from a Japanese instructor. I had several instructors. My father had a bunch of jewelers, one from Argentina, one from Yemen. I watched by learning them from the time I was 5. Then, years go by. I learned a little bit. I learned the basics, how to solder, things like that. Always is a language barrier. Then I get the studio jewelers and another Japanese master, and once again, language barrier. I learned by watching. Problem with that is very bad. No vocabulary. Like I said before, you can catch me if you ever see me in a jewelry supply. Like if you're in Manhattan, Zach's Tools. Oh my God! If you're ever in New York City, 55 West 47th Street, second floor, Zach's Tools. Just go. Just go. It's Disney World. But anyway, I'm still the guy in there. Years in, and I'll need a tool I've never used before, and I'm still the guy asking about the thing. Can I get the thing that does the thing that makes the thing do the thing? It goes kind of like that, and then like this. That's me. They put up with me because they know I don't. They know I'm actually not. Half of the time, people that go in there are first timers. They don't know what they're talking about. They're very excited. They want the thing that does the thing. They will waste the guy's time, and not to say that they're not worth it because they're not gonna be long time customers. But I mean, the place is really busy, and they can't walk you through that kind of shit. Generally, with me, they'll put up with me because I'm in there for years. They know what I make. They understand that I actually do spend money, and as you can see, the goal here is to smooth out. This thing is shaped like a screw at this point, or a drill bit. It's got the twist. We're gonna keep the twist pattern. But we gotta smooth those sides. We gotta turn this thing into a drill bit, from a drill bit to a candy cane. Just turn as you twist. As all right. So I'm doing that as I'm hitting, and you want to go. So as you can see, the stripes go that way. So I twist it to the right. So these stripes, try to imagine how they overlap. They come in like waves. So since they're like waves, hit them in the direction that they're going, so they don't pull back. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can do it either way. It will affect how the thing moves, but neither way is better than the other. But it will affect the pattern to some degree. You don't want to. All right, the parts that are raised have the most of the pattern. The parts that are lowered, you have to smush it out and expose them, because right now they're basically covered. If you really think about it, they're to some, like almost a scale. It's like the way scales work, they're kind of overlapped. So by doing this, you'll first fill in the gaps and then pull them. So at this point, right now, from when I started hammering, they're even more exposed. They're even more concealed. But it's a process, You have to mold this thing. Now that sounds weird. It's metal. Yes, you're forging it, but you're molding it. This is a very, at this point, especially gold. You know, all the metals you would do this with, hey, even steel, it's just you gotta hit harder. But I mean, this particular silver and gold are like, in a fully dead soft annealed state, they are like clay. So you're not, you're literally, before it starts to lose diameter, it might, it's going to lose a little bit because you're hitting it down. But when you can't see those lines anymore, when it starts to get to the point where you can't see that there's actual hills and valleys and indentations. You see the pattern and you see the lines, but they all look uniform and level. When it reaches that point, then it will start to lose diameter much more quickly. As of right now, it's not losing much diameter, and it's not really growing much in length because I'm literally filling in gaps in the surface. So I'm bringing the top end of the table down some, don't get me wrong, but rather than it's stretching, it's filling. Once they're all filled, it will start to stretch. So if you're like for me, I'm making a ring. I'm making 3 rings. I want them to be large. I need these pieces right now are about 73 millimeters. When I'm done hammering them, I need them at about 75, 76. So, and I want the band to be about 3 millimeters by 4 millimeters. So it's going to be a heavy, thick band. So I am cautious at this point not to push too far. But I'm not doing that. This hammer is great for that. Normally you'll see these, they have a lot more density. They're good. I have one of those somewhere around here. I like this one for this purpose. For the reasons I just stated. Okay, that's done. So, it's like I started with this one. It looks just like that one. So these are similar. So now you can see it's got a little more to go. I got to fill in like there. But other than that, this is nice and smooth. And I'm sorry about the focus, but that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna hammer out this one like that. I will show you how to square this one out, and we're gonna finish up the day.